All right, guys. This time is going to be a little bit shorter. So in the previous episode or class, we learned a bit more about surfaces and 3D objects. And today I want to make it a little bit shorter and focus on more advanced commands for drawing in 2D. So we have a nice assortment of shapes where each shape has a command that we can try out. Let's start with offset. So what offset does, and let's type the command. I'm going to change this to 1 for now. So the first thing you need to do is select a curve to offset. Let's choose this one, and immediately a new shape appears. Right now I have my cursor on the inside of the shape. If I move my cursor to the outside of the shape, I get a different result. What offset is doing is making a new line off the center of the original curve. So if I click, now I have two lines, and this line is exactly 1 millimeter off from the original curve. Let's try it again. Now I can offset it one more time. Let's go back to the original curve. And with all of these commands, there are many options that you can try. For example, let's choose a different kind of corner. Now I have round corners. If I delete these ones that I had before, I could do both sides. So then I have both the inside and the outside. And I can always pick a new distance. So now it's set to 1 millimeter, but I can also click here and make it maybe 3. Yes. You can see because my shape is too small, on the inside it does nothing, but on the outside it creates this offset that's outside of my shape. That is offset. Feel free to pause and try it out yourself. With the offset we just tried, you can see we have this nice round corners. Fillet and chamfer are a little bit how we can get these round corners ourselves. So we can try to type in the command fillet. I have now the radius set to 1, and it is choosing me to select the first curve to fillet. So let's select this curve. Nothing happened because I need to choose the other side of the curve, which is here. Click, and you can see it now created this curve fillet shape. One problem with the settings that we had is we had join no and trim yes. So if I do trim no and I select my two sides, it will still maintain the previous point. And if we have trim yes and join yes, and we select both sides, now it is already pre-joining the curves for me. Because we did this one with no join, we can simply click here, hold shift, select the other one, or drag from right to left, and then type in our command join, which will give us this closed curve with two interesting fillets. Of course, you can also choose the radius. Now this is a 5 by 5 millimeter square. So the deepest we can go with the fillet would be, well, actually it would be 5. So let's try 4 and see what happens. So radius of 4, we click on one side, click on the other side. Now we are getting this very interesting petal shape, like a flower. And we can try one more time, maybe with 3 here to get a wonky egg. Very good. What is chamfer then? So chamfer is the cousin of fillet, but instead of making a rounded corner, it will simply cut out the piece. And now it is set to 1, 1, but I could make the distances 2, 4. It will create an off-centered chamfer. There might be a use for this. I have never done so, but maybe you are the first one. So the next command we want to learn today is called split. What split will do is, as the name says, split a curve. So select objects to split. So the object that I want to split in this case is the square, and I will press enter to confirm. And next it is asking me a cutting object, which would be the shape in the middle. So when I click here, I need to confirm, and now nothing happened. But if I now click on my shape, you can see the shape is now split while this remains intact. I undid just to prove that it was not split before. Very good. We could also do the opposite. Let's choose this one as my object to split, press enter. This is my cutting object, press enter, and now the line in the middle is the split object, and this remains the same. That was fun. What else can we do? So trim is like the evolution of split, where you can work with multiple shapes at once to create interesting results. So this now doesn't communicate anything. Maybe a few of you already recognize what this might be, but we can find out the true nature of this icon by using the split command. So let's just try to select everything with the split. So everything is a cutting object. Let's press enter. And now it is asking me to select objects to trim. So what will happen with trim is every time I click on a line, it will trim it out like I am cutting it away. And I can go and find all of the shapes that I want to get rid of. You can also click and drag to get rid of multiple shapes at once until I have my final result where I press enter. So here we have an orange. Furthermore, you don't need to select everything to trim. So for example, here we have this kind of biscuit shape, which is composed of many, many circles and this square line. Let's say that I only want the outline of this shape. What could we do? We can split, and as the cutting object, we select only the rectangle. Now, everything that is touching the yellow rectangle will be cut away, and I can very happily select all of my shapes, press enter, and delete my square to find this very interesting biscuit shape. Again, because we chose a trim with no join, these are all separated, but you could join them all together. And finally, we have another example. Let's trim and select both of them again. And now I'm going to take out only these intersecting edges, which will give me this very geometric, interesting pattern. Let's join these all together. So now I have these interesting diamond shapes. Yeah. So again, as I said, this is a very short video, just exploring a few other commands. Feel free to try them out yourself. And if you need to go back to the video to see how it works, also don't forget, look at the conversation with Rhino, because it is always telling you what is the next step that you need to do. And remember that the order of selecting things like split and trim will matter, and fillet not so much. And that's it for this video. See ya!